Once upon a time, there was a vicar who delighted children from all over the world.
I was astonished. And I said,
A boy who loved to fly.
For heaven's sake, why can't you just go out and get drunk like other writers?
A man who loved to drink.
Even though I write about the human race, the further away I am from them, the better I feel.
A woman who stood alone.
They just thought that she was being aloof, standoffish, and sometimes downright rude.
A poet who sought love.
What you suffer from love affairs is far worse than most operations.
A woman who struggled.
And it haunts me still.
BAFTA-winning Bookmark tells the writer's tale, starting with Anne Rice, The Vampire's Life, Saturday, 8:05 on BBC2.
Keeping an eye on the weather and its changeability now on BBC2, Rob Mcelwee.
Hello, Istanbul woke up this morning to fog, a lot of it. It closed the airport at Ataturk, it closed the waterway, the Sea of Marmara had fog in it, so all forms of traffic were disrupted, and of course air pollution with no wind, which is indicated by all that fog, was also quite nasty. Now the reason for that is because this area, not just western Turkey, but much of the east of Europe and down towards North Africa is under the influence of an anticyclone. All the weather's happening elsewhere. By weather, of course, I mean wind and rain. It's happening over France, Spain and the British Isles, and also Scandinavia, and the direction of the wind, a westerly, means it's been rather mild. Now, things during the day were quite helpful for places like Spain, where almost all inland areas are suffering from a drought, but particularly down in the southeast corner, down in Andalusia, where as you can see from the cloud, some rain did come today. Not a lot, admittedly. Over an inch, though, at Córdoba, only a millimetre on the coast at Malaga. Elsewhere, further northwest, it's not been quite as dry and there's been yet more rain today. Now, as long as the winds carry on from the west to the southwest, and they will, there'll be further rain, and also it will remain remarkably mild. It was above freezing over much of the Baltic today. Well, that'll be the case, I think, throughout Wednesday as well. That's the picture for Wednesday. Note there's still an anticyclone or a ridge over the Bosphorus, so the chances are it'll still be foggy even then. The general picture is for the windy weather to stretch across the British Isles, Germany and Poland, the frontal systems to come down across the Alps and Austria and out towards western Russia, but still we see temperatures above zero. To the south of this, well, one or two showers for Spain again, but basically the Mediterranean is on the whole fine with one or two scattered showers. Now, on the other side of the Atlantic, the problems have been really rather different. It's been unseasonably warm, for example, on the Pacific coast. Washington and Oregon, like ourselves, have seen temperatures even in the low 60s. Mind you, we don't think we've quite seen 16, but that's encouraged the fruit trees to bud. Unfortunately, it's a frost back again, and that means those buds might well fall off. This is certainly likely to happen because despite the fact we've had a lot of snow recently, which often gives a blanket and stops things getting too bad, and the winds have been strong, cutting off power, the storm now is disappearing to the southeast down through the desert region and across the Rockies, but it's going to leave in its wake rather cold air. Now, that frost has been recently in New England, but not so much in the west, as you saw. But I think for the next 2 or 3 days, you'll find the frost at night running right the way down towards Dallas, down towards Mexico. Nighttime frost, a bit better during the day. And then we see the nights start to warm up again, once again, in Washington. We can just round off now by looking at our part of the world, where frost is probably the last thing on our minds. This is the general picture for Tuesday. Looking at the British Isles, we are between two systems, a brief ridge of high pressure, but it won't last that long. Now, overnight, we'll find one area of rain disappearing out of East Anglia, another one settling down over Scotland to end up of the night with just a few showers in the west, more particularly the western part of Scotland, which means clear skies and rather a cold night. Now, we might see a touch of frost in the glens of Scotland and maybe 1 or 2 icy patches in northern and eastern England or in the Midlands, but not much else. Tomorrow starts fine as a result. A lot of sunshine through eastern England and eastern Scotland, showers, occasional ones down the western side, but then as the wind picks up, the rain will move in. Before lunchtime, I think over much of the West Country, over Wales and Northern Ireland, and then throughout the rest of the day it'll move eastward. Fairly heavy spells alike, I think, but then after that it turns brighter again in Wales and the southwest. Rather similar day to today in many places. The winds then turn from the south to the west, and you'll find temperatures, as a result, don't change much, 9 to 11, remarkably mild. Those winds actually, as they come along with a touch gale force, I think, particularly along the south coast, and then when we go back to a southwesterly or a westerly, it'll still be a breezy day for just about everybody. Wednesday too will be breezy and rather showery. The showers at first may be in the east, but by the end of the day, the more usual pattern of showers in the west and fine weather further east. That's it for now. Sleep well.
Incredibly, surgeons are now able to operate on unborn babies. It's called open womb surgery. It has been used to save lives, but it's also been used to perform cosmetic surgery. This week, Horizon witnesses open womb surgery and asks where such science will lead us, and with what consequences. Twice Born, Horizon. Tomorrow, 9:30, BBC2.
For BBC2 Now, the Open University and an examination of decision-making. Doctors have to make professional judgments every day. Is it an analytical or intuitive approach?